Welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, as always, I greatly appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to watch the program. And what I want to get into, Eagles are going into the bye week. There's not a ton to talk about pertaining to the Philadelphia Eagles, but we have to keep our eyes on some of the divisional foes inside the NFC East, in particular, one of them who we're going to talk about on today's show in great detail, and that is the Washington Commanders. And their emergence and the play of rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels is bad news for the Eagles because it looks as though the Commanders and Jayden Daniels are the real deal. And because we're talking about an NFC East divisional rival, we take a look at our sub-battle here at Chat Sports among all channels who cover the Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, and Commanders inside the NFC East under the Chat Sports umbrella. Eagles Now is killing it. We have had a record season up to this point. It wouldn't be possible without all of you. And over the last 28 days, this channel has picked up nearly 6,000 new subscribers. We are crushing Giants Now. We are crushing the Cowboys Report. And it's not even a competition between Eagles Now and the Commanders Report. But I love blowing up the scoreboard. I love extending that lead. So if you want Eagles coverage that comes your way every single day year-round, that involves you as you have a voice on this program, and anytime I'm in front of this camera, on this microphone, I want the content to be as insightful, informative, entertaining, and thought-provoking as possible, then hit that subscribe button right now and join the largest independently run Eagles channel right here on YouTube. Let's begin with this. Just an overall look at the NFC East standings going into Week 5. As I noted, Philadelphia entering the bye week at 2-2. Tied for second place with the Dallas Cowboys, who are also even at 2-2. The Giants are 1-3. And how about the surprise Washington Commanders, led by Jayden Daniels, who have been one of the better, more prolific offenses in the entire National Football League. And you look at the first month of play for the Commanders. They started off the season with the 17-point loss on the road to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, as we saw last week, I think they're a pretty good football team. Then in Week 2, the Commanders beat and edge out the New York Giants 21-18. They go on the road in primetime, beat the desperate Cincinnati Bengals 38-33, and Joe Burrow was terrific in that game, but Jayden Daniels was even better. And then last week, the Commanders able to bounce the Cardinals with the 42-14 victory, 3 straight wins for Washington. And my overall takeaway from the beginning of this season for the Commanders, Jayden Daniels is a dog. I don't think that anybody can deny that. And I know it's early, but to start the season, he has looked incredible. He is displaying accuracy. He's throwing with timing, touch, accuracy, and anticipation. He's making really good decisions with the football. The offense and he himself, they've been so efficient to crazy degrees, as we're about to talk about here on the show. And Jayden Daniels, like he was at LSU last year when he won the Heisman Trophy, he can carve you up, slice you and dice you with his arm, but he's so difficult to contain as an athlete because he is a dual threat quarterback who can gash you with his legs. Jayden Daniels so far this year and the Commanders, they have more scoring drives, 23, than Daniels does incomplete passes, 19 through his first 4 NFL games. So to kick off his rookie year, he is off to a historic start. He leads the NFL among all quarterbacks in completion rate at 82.1%. And as the Commanders have started to find a groove as they've won 3 games in a row, and some of the casuals start to understand that he's a pretty special player, he has the #1 selling jersey on Fanatics over the last week. His season numbers up to this juncture of the season: 87 of 106, his completion rate, #1 in the NFL, as I said, 82.1%. He's thrown for nearly 900 yards. The touchdown to interception ratio is down, only 3-1, and that's because he's also added some touchdowns with his legs. These are passing touchdowns, and the Commanders have been able to successfully run the football when in the red area, and he's averaging 8.5 yards per completion. A big reason for Jayden Daniels' success is the play calling and play designing of offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsberry, who Dan Quinn hired, was the quarterback's coach at USC last year for Caleb Williams, used to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals alongside Kyler Murray. He was fired, and before that, he coached Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. And what I want to show you here is part of that analytical and efficiency discussion, because this has to do with the play of Daniels and the play calling of Cliff Kingsbury. This is a chart which shows you quarterback accuracy and average separation. So Kingsbury is drawing up plays where there is a lot of receiver separation, giving Jayden Daniels big windows to throw through, right? But also his quarterback accuracy has been phenomenal. And if you look at the top right corner, that's the outlier there, as Jayden Daniels is head and heels over any other quarterback in the NFL as far as accuracy. And obviously Kingsbury has helped his rookie quarterback with the play designing, which has led to a lot of separation. And then we flip the page to this as we get nerdy on you here early in the show. Adjusted expected points added per play leaderboard in 2024. This is another way to measure efficiency. Brock Purdy is number one, as he's been a very efficient quarterback to start the year. Jayden Daniels is at number 2 here. And if you're looking for Jalen Hurts, he's all the way down at 25, as he's off to a rocky start here in 2024. That goes without saying. Why all of this is bad news for the Eagles? 5 reasons here. I think going into week 5, through the first 4 games, it's pretty clear that when you compare Washington to Dallas, Philadelphia, and the Giants, they are the number 1 team in the NFC East. And the Commanders have a real chance to win the NFC East this year. Going into 2024, nobody would have given them a shot. And what looked like 2 easy wins on the schedule for the Eagles are now going to be hard-fought games, because this team is taxing to defend, and their defense has played pretty well. After all, Dan Quinn is the defensive head coach. The Eagles also have a struggling defense to try to match up against Jayden Daniels. The Commanders, could they be great for the next 5 to 10 years with Jayden Daniels as this team's quarterback? And are they going to be a long-term power? We haven't had to worry about the Commanders for a long time, my entire life, because they've mostly been irrelevant. Is that going to change and flip on its head? Because the Eagles have been the most successful team in the NFC East and one of the more successful teams in the NFL since the turn of the century in 2000. And over the next 4 or 5 years, as Jayden Daniels is on that rookie contract, the Commanders have money. They have cap space. They have picks. And if he continues to play like this, other players are going to want to go to Washington, one of the blue blood franchises. So that's why this is bad news for the Eagles. So with that, I pop up today's poll question. Do the Commanders worry you? I want you to be honest with me. Type Y for yes, type N for no. We always want your voices to be heard right here on this program. Coming up next, there is a trend that I want to point out, and I'm going to explain how the Eagles could stop Jayden Daniels. We're not going to be overly complimentary of Washington Jayden Daniels, so stay tuned for that. But our sponsor today, our friends at Game Time. I love going to Eagles games. I love going to sporting events. But when you talk sports for a living, sometimes you need to unplug and you want to go to something other than a sporting event, like a concert, a comedy show. I love to laugh. I love music. Sometimes I like going to theater shows. Game Time has tickets to sporting events, but all of these other events as well. And they specialize in last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed, and you will get the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. This interface in the app is better, and this app in general is better than any other competitor in the ticket marketplace. Of course, still plenty of tickets available for an Eagles game this year. After the Week 5 bye, the Eagles will host the Cleveland Browns. And what I love about this app, you can really get specific with where you want to sit, right? If you're very particular about which yard line you want to sit at, there's the aerial view here, or you can see that view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. So Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. Game Time picks. Curation makes it easier to find the tickets that you want to go to and buy. So terms apply. First purchase only. What time is it? Game time. All right. How the Philadelphia Eagles can stop Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. We're going to go through Daniels' performances in the first 4 games of the year. Week 1 against a Todd Bowles defense, and we know that defense has historically given Jalen Hurts a lot of issues. The Commanders lose that game by 17, and Daniels made some plays with his legs, made a couple of good throws. He was 17-24, 184 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, and his completion percentage over expected, minus 4.7. And as you can see with the next-gen stats throwing chart here, Daniels didn't really push the ball downfield, but he was able to complete balls both sides of the field here. And that's as evidenced by the green dots. The white dots are the incompletions. And he wasn't really explosive with taking the top off of the defense. I think in that first game, Washington had a game plan. Jayden Daniels, play point guard, get rid of the ball against this very aggressive defense, and spread the ball out. In week 2 against the New York Giants, Daniels goes 23 of 29, 226 yards, and here you see a little bit of a shift where Daniels is still throwing the ball to the right side of the field and the left side of the field, but he started to complete passes downfield as well. But how about the last 2 weeks? This comes down to how teams have defended Jayden Daniels, but maybe it's a glimpse and a look at what he prefers in some of his strengths and how Philadelphia might be able to stop and limit and game plan against Jayden Daniels. What do you recognize here? Let me know in the chat. What I recognize is that Daniels was 21-23, right? 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks against the Cincinnati Bengals. He had more total touchdowns than he did incompletions in that game. And he was terrific. The blue streak is the long ball that he threw to pretty much seal the game for Washington. But again, what do you notice? And I'm testing your football knowledge. A lot of his completions were on the right side of the field. And that is easiest for a right-handed quarterback when you drop back because your momentum kind of takes you to that right side. Now, he did hit that long ball deep on that left side, no doubt about it. But then you look at week 4 against the Arizona Cardinals, and what do you notice again? It's Jayden Daniels who went 26 of 30. Again, efficiency, accuracy, buzzwords on today's show. He's once again completing a lot of passes to the right side. And as teams are able to get more tape and they can do more research on Jayden Daniels, will the book be out on him and the preferences of him and Cliff Kingsberry and this entire offense? Something to monitor looking forward. In this game, what's also very impressive for Daniels, his completion percentage over expected plus 11.8%, which means he wasn't really supposed to complete a lot of these footballs, yet he still was able to. So we round out with this. Which team is the biggest threat in the NFC East for the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me know down in the comment section. Thanks for being a real one. And if you made it to the end of the show, give me a real one right now.